Welcome back, everyone. Today's lesson is going to be a math lesson, and the topic is going to be on exponents. Okay, now if you're not sure what exponents are, there's no need to worry about that at the moment because I'm going to show you some examples. Now, before I show you these examples, I'm going to assume that you know what exponents are in general. So what I'm about to go over is just going to be just a quick overview of what exponents are. I'm going to put some phrases in that we normally wouldn't use just to kind of get re-familiar with the whole idea of exponents. Okay, so again, if you're not sure what they are, I'm going to show you some examples in a moment here and talk a little bit more. Now, if you want to see anything more specific on exponents, again, just send me a message and we can make an arrangement. So let's take a look at what exactly are exponents now. So here I have in 8 to the second power, or 8 square, the 2 says to use 8 twice in a multiplication. So 8 squared equals 8 times 8 equals 64. Okay, so what I've done here is just showing you what the concept of what the exponent is. So as you can see here, I have 8. Down below here, I have 8 to the second power. Now the 2 is the exponent, or you can call it a power or index. For this lesson, I'm just going to stick to either exponent or power. Okay, so that's what that smaller number represents. Okay, and the larger number, number 8, is what they call the base number. That's the number that tells you how many times it's going to be multiplied. So again, going back to 8 to the second power, which is your base number, 2 is your exponent. The exponent, or the power of 2, is telling you to multiply 8 times 8, which gives you the answer of 64. Okay, so I've got some other examples here just to kind of show you what exactly I'm talking about with exponents. So we've got 5 to the third power, which, 5 to the third power, or 5 cubed, and I'll give you other phrases in a moment here, which is basically 5 times 5 times 5, which equals 125. Here I've also got 2 to the fourth power, which is basically you're writing out 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 16. Now, earlier I mentioned how you can say these, in certain ways. All right. So, for example, for 5 to the third power, words that you could say are, like I just mentioned, 5 to the third power, 5 to the power of 3, or you can also just simply call it 5 cubed. Those are the other phrases you can use when you're mentioning 5 to the third power. Okay? Now, for 2 to the fourth power, other words that you can say are, and I just said it, 2 to the fourth power, or 2 to the power of 4, or you can simply just say 2 to the fourth. Okay? Now, these are more when we're talking about discussing it, as far as when to address these terms. Very rarely will they ask you to write down any of these kind of terms. Okay? This is when we're having a conversation about exponents, either in the classroom, or if we're doing a one-on-one tutorial, or you're doing an online group session. Okay? You would need to say these phrases in this context. All right? So this is something you don't really write down. I've never seen a standardized test actually state to write these down. Usually it's just the answers, like I'm showing you, or something along that line. So this is more for like just oral discussion if you're having a conversation with somebody. So this is a really good opportunity for you to practice not just learning what exponents are, but to get some oral practice in as far as speaking. If you're a second language learner, this is a really good time just to get some conversation going and talking about something. Even though exponents is something that we don't say often, it's just the opportunity of talking and saying something. Okay, and I'm going to delve a little bit because this is into a slight English lesson, more for second language learners. But as you can just see here, I have 2 to the 4th power. Now, every single one of those words is what I call a high frequency word. You're going to say these words pretty often. 2 to the 4th power. Those are words you would say all the time, even fourth. You can talking to somebody, you say, I'm fourth in line. I'm the 4th person who finished, or something like that. 2 to the power of 4. All those words are high frequency words. You would say them in any other subject, or even 2 to the 4th. Again, so when I'm talking about using this as an opportunity to practice your oral English speaking, this is a really good way to do that. Okay? Just make sure you're saying it in the right context. And even if you're not saying it in the right context, you're just getting that oral practice in, which is kind of hard to get at times. So, whether you're doing a one-on-one session with me, or you're in a classroom or a group chat talking, this is a really good way to get practice in for oral speaking. Okay, now I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but I just saw an opportunity here to try to make this more relevant in what we're doing today, and get some extra practice in. You guys know I'm big on integrated instruction, so anytime I see a chance to do it, I'm going to take advantage of it. Okay, but back to exponents. Let's take a look at some examples now. So we're looking at some other examples of exponents here, and I'm just going to show you, basically just reinforce what I was showing you with the examples just now. All right, exponents or powers. As I said, we're going to focus on those 2 phrases, and the directions say, work out the following exponents below, show your work. Okay, so pretty much like what you just saw me demonstrate before, we're going to do the exact same thing. All right, and I'm going to just say it the way I usually say it. Sometimes I say, well, you'll just have to listen to me. Okay, there's no real way of like saying you got to say it like this every time. All right, I've been teaching this for so long, I just say it in what the context of the situation is. So okay, so if you're still shy about talking about it here, just listen to what I'm saying, and you can see, and you can just check your work and see how you're doing. Now when we're done with these, I'll give you a bonus activity where you can practice this some more, writing down the answers like this, not writing how to say it or anything like that. Okay, so let's look at number 1 now, and it says 2 to the 3rd power. So they just basically want us to work out the following exponents below and to show your work. So the answer for 2 to the 3rd power is going to just simply be 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 8. Okay, and that's what they want you to do. And this is what I want you to do for this video here, is just do examples like this. So let's look at a few more here. For number 2, I've got 4 to the 2nd power, or 4 square. So we know, looking at our base number, that that's 4, and looking at our exponent or the power, that's 2. So what we're basically going to do is just write 4 times 4, which equals 16. Looking at number 3, you've got 5 to the 1 power, or the 1st power. Now this one's a little tricky, because if you're looking at the other exponents for the first 2 examples, it tells you how many times to write out the number. So for here, that's just writing out 5 again. So the answer is just 5. There's nothing else to write but that. Okay. Looking at number 4 here, we've got 1 to the 4th power. And again, just following the directions of showing your work, we know that we're just going to write 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, which equals 1. Okay, now be careful with something like this, because when it says to show your work, they want you to show your work like this. Okay, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1. So make sure you're doing that when you're showing your work. Just don't write it like number 3 here. Okay, so number 3, there is nothing else to multiply, it's just 5. Okay, and so for number 4, it can be a bit tricky, because I know many of you can just do this in your head, and I know a lot of you can just do this in your head already, but it says here to show your work. So again, this is more for like test takers. If you're going to take a standardized test of some sort, make sure you follow the directions. So if they say to show your work, show your work. If they don't say show your work, you don't have to show your work, okay? And you've seen me do this many times in my other videos where I really emphasize showing your work when it says it. But you've also know, as you've seen in my previous videos, when I don't say you don't have to show your work, you don't have to, okay? So it's just a reminder for you, all you test takers out there. Show your work, okay? When it asks, okay? Okay, so looking at number 5 here, we've got 10 cubed. So the answer is going to be very similar to number 1, because that was also the power of 3. So the answer is just going to be 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. Okay, so these are just some little exercises I wanted to put up with you so you can see what exactly we want to do with the exponents here. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the bonus activity, which again is almost similar. The directions are extremely similar. Of course, none of the problems are exactly the same. All right, but let's go ahead and take a look at the bonus activity now. Here's the bonus activity, and as I just told you, the directions are pretty straightforward, and they're exactly like the previous 5 examples I showed you. So the directions say, work out the following exponents below, show your work. So I'll go ahead and read through these just to say the exponents basically for you, but you don't have to write that down. Just write down the answers as I demonstrated to you previously. So looking at number 1 here, you've got 10 to the second power, or 10 squared. So just write the following exponents out, showing your work. Number 2, 3 to the third power, 3 cubed. Okay. Number 3, 8 to the fourth power. Number 4 is 9 to the first power. And the last one here I'm going to ask you to do for number 5 is 1 to the third power, or 1 cubed. Okay, so just like what I did earlier with the examples, do the same thing with these. Just show your work, write out the exponents here. Okay, there's nothing more I'm going to ask you to do other than that. So you know me, I'm the type, whatever I show you is usually what I'm going to reinforce. Now, if you come to me with an assignment or an activity where the teacher wants you to do it their way, I'm okay with that too. I can do that also, because chances are I've done something like that in the past, what they're asking you to do. So it's not going to really catch me for a loop like, what? Wow, I don't really know what they want you to do. I would most likely know what they want you to do. So if you needed some extra support and not just exponents and anything, I can definitely do that. Okay, since I've been teaching for so long, as you know, I've been teaching for 20 years. This isn't really, I understand what most likely your teacher would want you to do, and I can do it like that as well. Okay, but if you're coming to me for extra help and support, this is the way I would do it for you. Okay, and because again, I'm here to assist you in what you're doing. Okay, and these activities are all designed and showing you how I would do that. So anyways, I just wanted to put that out there. And as always, hey, I really appreciate you taking part of your day here to watch my video, spend some time with me, seeing what one of my lessons is looking like. And again, if you're interested in another activity, or you want me to expand on this, or you want me to do something else that you think you might find interesting, send me a message, let me know, and hopefully we can try and make an arrangement so that can happen. So until then, I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you on the next video. Thank you once again for joining in today's lesson. Please message me through Facebook Messenger, or you can email me at jollyformore@gmail.com to learn more about my online tutorial service. Please leave a comment down below. If you know someone interested in hiring an online tutor, share this video. And if you would like to get a bell notification for all my newest videos, please subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. And until then, please be safe out there. Have a great day.